testing, test ickles, test ickles. Welcome everyone to episode 760 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gangcast, Mancast, Pimpcast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. First off, what up, beaches? Second off, what up, hoes? And third off, what up, hustlers, bustlers, and I don't know, Swole fam? Fuck all that hustlers and bustlers and all that gangster-ish. We are here for episode 760. Welcome everyone to the Quadcast. Welcome on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And we are also on SoundCloud and Apple Podcast. Welcome everyone to the fucking show. And I do say the fucking show with all love and positivity. Let's get that going. Okay, so episode 760. Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. And we got a good one, your fitness reality. We're going to talk a little bit about progress and proper goal setting and realistic expectations. We're going to talk about some training techniques. Got a couple good questions about cardio and running and blah, 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 and stuff that people are doing while still trying to gain muscle and build mass. And it really comes down to, again, your goals, what you're trying to accomplish, and still pulling in opposite directions. And that's really more often than not the case. And it's sad and it's discouraging because we talk about that almost every day, focusing on what you need to accomplish and doing those things and not the bullshit that takes you completely the opposite direction. So we'll talk about that first, get the party started, and and we'll take it from there. So a couple other things that are going down, just make a couple subtle announcements, and you'll hear me talk more about these things coming up. There's going to be a new vlog on YouTube tonight, so make sure you stay up on that. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do so at Swolenormous. That has a wealth of content that you can't find anywhere else. So if you're not subscribed on YouTube, I don't know why. Why not? Because I have like thousands of videos, training videos, vlogs, and shit that I post pretty much every freaking day. So there's tons of content there. And of course, all the other channels. So aside from that, let me take a couple initial comments and welcome Angelica, Dennis, Ryan on Facebook. Dale is on YouTube today. What up, my ninja? What up, bro? James, Phil just crushed legs, hit new PRs. It's been a good day. What's up, Swole? Nice. New PRs. If your goals are PRs, that's good. That's good. That's good. I haven't done anything for like a PR in, I can't even remember, years. I haven't done anything. I haven't done any kind of lift like to try to get more weight in forever. It's been, it could easily be a decade since I actually cared about how much I lifted. You know, it's always a good measurement. Like, okay, I know if I'm going heavier or not heavier, but in order to try to lift heavier, I haven't trained like that in so long. For me, that's like a road to, that's like a dead end road. Honestly, for me personally, I just feel that, okay, it's like, okay, you're just knocking, it's like you're just sending text messages to injury or to death's door and you're just hoping to not get a response. You're like, is today the day? And like, no, I'm going to get the PR. I just feel like that's diminishing returns. Personally, that's my own personal training. I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents, but respect for the PRs always. When you're making improvements, it's all good, man. More PRs means you're going to be doing more volume. You have more work capacity. All those things are good. What's up, Papa Swolio? First time getting to catch the live. Wow, nice. I've watched for a long time. Would like to thank you for the advice that helped me lose 100 pounds in the past year. That's fantastic, Patty Wagon. Congratulations. That's sick. You see? But what did Patty Wagon do that those of you that have not had amazing success and results, Patty Wagon actually put that into action. So congratulations, fam. Good for you. Send me a DM. Give me some more details. I'd love to hear more about it. It's awesome. Let's see. What's up, Papa Swolio? Mega leg gains today. Sweet. I did my legs yesterday. What up, Papa? Just got back from the gym. Everyone's getting their pump on. Everyone's just like immediately post pump. Everyone's post pumped right now. I am also likewise post pump. I am happy to say. So let's, here we go. Let me just tweak that a little bit. Sweet. So today, I just wanted to drop some some knowledge. And like I said, that YouTube video tonight, I know I'm ramping that up. It was just some real talk. I was on my way to the gym and I decided to just take out the camera. I just wanted to say something and kind of, speak from the heart and just speak from experience because you are going to have those ups and downs, right? And we talk a lot about goals. We talk a lot about training for a purpose and having your vision, knowing where you're going with your training and understanding what it takes to get to where you want to go and how to map your training to your goals. And oftentimes people are doing things that are not in line with their goals. For example, I got a message on Instagram and it was a good message. And the dude was saying he's trying to build muscle and gain size, but he runs like, I don't know, I think he said like 50 miles a month or 45 miles in the last month or something like that. And, I had to ask a couple more questions. Are you doing massive long runs like 10-mile runs? Are you running? And he runs like a few miles every single day. And I'm like, if you're running every day, it'll absolutely affect your gains. It will absolutely affect your muscle growth and your development. Not to mention when you're lifting weights heavy and you're doing a lot of overload, pounding on your joints, probably heel to toe running, which is fundamentally incorrect. You're just slamming your joints and you're compressing. You're just causing a lot of impact stress on the body. Not to mention, you're combining that with a lot of resistance training stress if you're trying to build muscle. So you're pulling in two different directions, right? So that's pretty common. And that's why the whole cardio myth, in terms of losing weight or cardio myth to get what you want is really overblown, right? That's why a lot of people do way too much cardio. It's because they think it's going to keep them lean. Or there's this classic idea that cardio is fitness, right? Running is fitness. If you can run down the street and not get out of breath, then you're fit. And cardiovascular capacity is important. It's important you get that with yoga, you get that with strength training to a point, and there's nothing wrong with doing your own doing cardiovascular training. If your goal is not to build a lot of mass or your goal is not to build a lot of strength because adding cardiovascular activity, it does add stress to your body. It does utilize calories. If you're trying to put on and add and bulk, you don't want to be spending tons of energy doing other activities. Plus, your body adapts to the activity at hand. So if you are lifting weights, your body will adapt to lifting weights. If you are practicing yoga, your body will also keep the muscles longer and leaner, or I shouldn't say leaner, but you'll improve mobility, range of motion. And then when you do running, you're slamming on the fucking joints. Like, why do you think bodybuilders and people that do competitions, they do machines or they do cardiovascular machines? Because it's consistent, it's regulated, and there's no impact. So they're not slamming on their joints because that's what's common for overuse injuries. Runners have oftentimes just tons and tons of overuse injuries and improper form, and running form is usually garbage for the average person because posture is garbage for the average person. So you have to really sit back and think about what you want to do. If you want to be a better runner, then you should be taking classes. You should go to a running coach and learn proper form and dynamics, and all your training should go towards running. I understand some people enjoy running. Okay, if you enjoy running, then do so for enjoyment, but understand the implications and how it's going potentially counterintuitive and is going to counteract your progress in the gym or what you're trying to accomplish in the gym. So you have, health reasons. You have is it healthy or is it unhealthy? And it's not unhealthy, or what your goals are. So if you understand what your goals are and you understand what you're trying to accomplish from a goals standpoint, then you do what you need to do based on what that outcome is. And if you are not, then you are going to be disappointed because you are not going to have the results that you wanted to have. So there's that trade-off. That trade-off. And when I was bulking, I wasn't doing cardio, I wasn't running, I wasn't doing a lot of stuff. And whenever I did get tendonitis or have issues was from trying to run on the beach. When I first moved down to Florida, I was doing a lot of weightlifting and I was running, for a few miles on the beach, and I was doing that. And then you get overuse injuries because you're trying to pull in two different directions. Your body's not going to like doing heavy deadlifts and then going for a 5-mile run on the beach. And then it's just not how the body works. It's going to break. And that's why a lot of people have those injuries and issues with CrossFit, because it's just a lot of random different shit that the body can't adapt to. So you have a lot of problems that can arise. And granted that the average person is nowhere even remotely close to an athlete. It's all recreational. It's all aesthetics, or they want to lose weight or look better, or feel better, or hang out with their friends. You're throwing You're throwing people in these really long swimming pools and being like, "Hey, swim." And they're like, "Well, I know how to swim. I'm not like conditioned to swim." And then you're pulling the body in a bunch of different directions. And the body cannot be efficient in many, many different things in the vast majority of people. So, you always have those outliers, people that seem like they can do everything, but everyone has their strengths and everyone has their weaknesses. Every single person has strengths and weaknesses, whether it's mental, whether it's physical, whether it's cardiovascular, whether it's disease. Everyone's got their strengths and everyone has their weaknesses. Stephanie, how do I let go of the treadmill? I feel like without it, my workouts are not complete. Quite the opposite. Your workouts aren't complete if you're using a treadmill, in my opinion. How do you let go of the treadmill? Well, first off, you go on Craigslist and you put free. If you own one at home, you put free in big letters, come pick it up today, and you put it out by the road. If you're at the gym, you just don't use them. And that's it. That's how you let it go. You could warm up. Look, if you do cardio, like you get your heart rate up and you warm up before you train, that's fine. But I mean, don't be running on a treadmill. Walking on an incline is actually a beneficial form of cardio, but just walking or running on a treadmill, eh, it's a lot of impact, especially if you're doing if you run like the classic incorrect heel to toe and you're slamming your heels. If you want to see a horror story, go on YouTube and look up slow motion running and slow motion impact on treadmills, and they'll show you like those biomechanics labs where they take super slow mo footage and they'll show the shock wave that reverberates up the leg every time you smash your heel into the ground. It's fundamentally incorrect for how human beings are supposed to run, is heel to toe. That's why running shoes, the heel is so damn thick because it has to absorb the shock because your body's not able to. The way you're supposed to run is the way you would run if you didn't have shoes on. And how is that? On the balls of your feet. And that's why you have an arch of your foot. And that's what the arch of the foot does. And that's what the tissue and the plantar fascia and everything on the bottom of the arch, it acts like a spring. It compresses and it springs you forward. There's a reason why I believe the ankle joint or the calf is a second degree lever, which is very effective in that joint because you can just go up on the balls of your feet, right? If you weigh 200 pounds, you can just boom, lift your heels and go up on the balls of your feet. There's a reason why you can't do that with your biceps. If someone gave you 200 pounds, boom, it would drop to the floor. There's no way you'd be able to hold it. And there's a reason why your calves are so strong is because they're designed with the lever or the mechanical advantage of the joint, of the origin, the insertion, where the force is relative to where the muscle tendon wraps around, blah, blah, blah. The ankle, exercise science, kinesiology, yada, yada, yada. It's easy for the calves to move your body, which is good. You don't want your calves doing maximum reps every time you take a step. That wouldn't be that effective. You wouldn't get that far. So, you everyone gets used to things in the gym. Everyone gets used to a routine in life, not just the gym. And the gym is no different than life. It's good to have a routine. It's good to have a routine to go to the gym. It's not good or safe to be married to what you do when you get to the gym. Is going to the gym or going on a treadmill or these things, everyone's always asking, well, isn't it better than nothing? Yeah, okay, it's better than nothing. But that also doesn't mean anything. I don't like that phrase either. Well, it's better than nothing. Well, it's something. At least they're not sitting on the couch. Okay. I mean, at least they're getting in a car. At least they know how to drive. They went down a dirt path. Who knows where they went, but at least they're driving. It's an arbitrary thing. It's like the most passive, weak way of getting success. Like, well, at least they're doing something and potentially wasting their time. Like what? So not that being on a treadmill is wasting your time, but you have to think about how you're valuing your time and how you're using it, and are you using it most effectively and most efficiently? So in the time that you have to train, are you using it for doing things that are going to help benefit you the most? And usually a treadmill is not on that list. So if you had an hour and I said, okay, what are you doing in that hour? And someone said treadmill for an hour or weightlifting for 30 or 40 minutes and then yoga for 20 or 30 minutes, it's like, oh, well, definitely the second one. Ross on Facebook. What's up, Derek? What's going on? Or Brandon. Brandon, you came first. What's the most I can jog per week? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't personally jog. I think sprints are better. I think interval sprinting. I think that kind of like intensity interval for, cardio in that sense, but interval sprinting is great for leg development. It's also great for your cardiovascular system. I don't think long distance or jogs are effective. I really don't. I feel like you should go for a walk or sprints. I just think jogging is like, why? Your body adapts to that so quick. Your body becomes extremely efficient at achieving that task and not expending much energy. That's why jogging doesn't do shit for people to get in shape. Oh, how'd you get ripped? Oh, I jogged. Said no one ever. No one's, oh, I lost so much weight by jogging. Yogging, right? Ron Burgundy, or it's yogging. I believe the J is silent. Run. Do your sprints. Be a functional human being with explosive running from a tiger, running from a bear. Do your yoga, do your foam rolling, your meditation, do your weight training, and you kind of have everything. You want to be able to travel long distances. Why? Are you a nomad? Are you a gypsy? What does that mean? And I'm not being a dick. Fuck. I don't care if you think I'm being a dick. I'm just having fun with it. All I see is text popping up on screen next to an avatar. And it says, I want to be able to travel long distances, like in a car, or you want to be able to run. It comes back to what your goal is, right? If you want to run, if that's what you want to do and you want to run, then fucking run, bro. Run, Forrest, run. Like seriously, if that's what you want to do, if that makes you happy, then run. Then your training, then your strength training, your yoga, and this should all be focused around like active recovery for running. And you should learn how to run better. You should take running classes and get a running coach and learn proper mechanics and learn how to run barefoot and do, and strengthen your body the right way. I think I want to burn extra calories after lifting weights. Oh, then don't run. It's not about that burning extra. You're not burning extra calories. Your body is fine after lifting weights. Your nutrition has to be, if you're worried about getting leaner, your nutrition needs a lot of help. Your weight training and your nutrition. And plus, if you do things like sprints, you're going to be much more efficient in utilizing fat, and you'll be much more in epoch or in that deficit period. Jogging is, your body is just going to meet that demand and be fine, and you won't look any different. Ross on Facebook, do cardio complexes with weights. It'll replace the treadmill and you'll feel like you're sprinting. Yeah, but then you lose the effectiveness of the weights. Cardio complexes, you mean like burpees and an overhead press? Look, it all comes down to what your goal is. So all these questions and all these comments, it's really depends on the person. But these are the questions that I get all the time. And these are the questions that you have, which is why I get them a lot. So it really, it depends on what you want to get out of it. If you love, there are people in the Olympics that do marathon running. Obviously, they love to run, or that's what they're good at. So that's what they do. Okay. LeBron James is obviously pretty decent at basketball, right? He's fucking awesome. He also works his ass off and he's naturally talented in that. Like he just has the skills, the body, the frame, the desire, the passion, everything, all the stars align to make him an amazing basketball player. All right. The hard work matches with his natural talent, with his height, with his demeanor. It's just, a perfect storm, right? That's why he's the best ever, for example. So every once in a while, you have that perfect storm where you got the physical talent, you have the drive, the passion, and then you have this person who excels in their field. And then you have a lot of people that work out, that lift, that have decent physiques and, oh, cool. They're not going to be on the Olympia stage, but they might look decent, but they don't have the desire, right? I played baseball. I played baseball up through college. But once I found fitness and training, I just lost interest in baseball. I wasn't going to the pros. I wasn't passionate about it. I was kind of burnt out for playing baseball my entire life. And it was time. It was over. My physical fitness wasn't over, but I just fell in love with weight training, which is great. And then I haven't missed it. Let's see. Kyle on Instagram. It's like skipping eating junk food a few times a week is better than nothing, but you're still not treating your body right those other days. If you're looking for real results for gains anyway, you talk about yeah, what I mentioned about the, the kind of, oh, well, at least you're going. Yeah. Well, it all adds up. And yesterday I was talking about 86%, right? If you have one cheat day a week, you're only eating properly, over the course of a year, 86% of the time. So that one cheat day is affecting that one day plus more. So, one day out of 365, it's really multiple because the poor nutrition and hydration on that one day is going to bleed over into the next day or two, oftentimes. And it affects your training, which affects your progress, which so it adds up. Joanne Mary, I think running while I was extremely overweight, overuse of jogging in my weight loss and doing a lot of this may have contributed to the development of spurs on my heels. That's another point that I've made before. I don't think I've mentioned that yet today. But when you're overweight, you shouldn't be running. Really, you shouldn't be running because what happens when you're overweight? Think about what that word means. If you're overweight, that means you have too much weight. You're over your weight for your body, which means you're over your weight for your posture. And because most people are sedentary, they're sitting down, you have tight calves, tight hamstrings, and your hip flexors are tight, your rectus femoris is tight, you have weak muscles in your glutes that aren't activating properly, you have improper and poor stress that's on your spine, blah, blah, blah. You have poor posture from sitting down, sitting at a desk, the stuff we talk about a lot. So when you walk, your feet are actually overpronating, your feet are turning out, your feet are flattening, and you have stress on your plantar fascia, right? You're getting like inflammation on the bottom of your feet. You have, a lot of pressure on your knees because your feet are flattening, which means your arch is not supporting your foot. So you're getting a lot of impact that's radiating up to your knees. So you have a lot of issues. And then you go out and run and you just bam, 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 bam. You're slamming on knees that are bending too far inwards, right? Knee valgus, that's what we call it. And you have a lot of pounding, pounding, pounding. And sure, if you have good shoes, the cushions in those shoes might spare your body momentarily, but eventually the bow is going to break and you're going to have an issue. You're going to have pain in the bottom of your foot. You have pain in your shins. You have pain in your knees. You have pain in your back, pain in your neck. And it comes quickly. It comes quickly. And that's why shoes are bad because there's an elevated heel, which tightens up the Achilles tendon. And you have arch support, which is weakening the muscles and the structures of your foot. So you're literally dispersing the stress away from your foot and you're kind of giving your foot a pillow and you're having issues because of it. You're weakening the muscles and the structures of your foot. I believe this was like episode 2, right, fam? Wasn't episode 2 like literally 002? Wasn't episode 2 barefoot running or barefoot? Literally, I think what I should do. And I've been thinking about this and I think I mentioned it before, but I just kind of forget and I do my thing. But today's Tuesday. Maybe every Thursday we should do like a throwback episode, like pick one from like the early archives and just do the topic again and kind of like go over it again and stuff like that. So if you guys like that idea, we can talk. I mean, really, it could be any day. It doesn't have to be Thursday. But got some great topics that we could easily talk about again and go into a little bit more depth and discuss it and break it down a little bit more. Better off doing hit training with yoga moves mixed in with weights. You can. And look, I mean, Kath on Instagram, it depends on what you want. It depends on what you want. Look, if you have a lot of weight to lose, I understand the desire to not lift heavy weights, right? If you're big already, you're thinking, man, if I lift big, I'm going to get bigger. That's not how it works, right? So if you're, let's say, 100 or 150 pounds overweight, you don't want to lift big. I understand you don't want to lift heavy weights where you feel like your muscles are swelling. You feel like you're going to gain weight. And in the first week or two, you might gain some extra water retention from the inflammation, but you're going to lose weight fast and you're going to lose weight overall once you start, consistently if you're nailing your nutrition properly and everything like that. And I remember one of my first clients ever when I started training, and doing personal training back in the day, it was like 13, 14 years ago. I she came in and she was 300 the numbers doesn't it's not really that important, but I'm pretty sure this is what 307 pounds. Yeah, this is it. She was 307 pounds. And so we talked about nutrition. We talked about diet. We talked about, cutting out whatever, she told me what she was eating. And she decided to do like, I forget if it was like Atkins or low carb, something for, to clean out, just to do something. It was like, whatever you're good with. Cause she was going to start in 2 weeks because she was switching jobs and she was hectic. So she was going to start training and we're going to train 4 days a week in 2 weeks. So she lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks, a lot of extra water weight and some fat, but like mostly water weight, flushing out because she wasn't eating healthy and she was very obese. And I told her, and she started at 287, and I told her, we're going to be lifting weights. And I also told her, don't be afraid if you see the scale increase. And I'm talking 289, 289, 290, 291. It's going to creep up because you're going to have inflammation. You're going to have water retention from the swelling. Your body doesn't know what to do. Your body's adapting to the new stress. So you're going to have, I said, pretty much don't be alarmed when you see the scale going up. You're not gaining fat. Stick to your nutrition. Trust me for the weights and let's do it. So sure enough, right? We started training 288, 289, 291. I think it went up to 294. So she gained like 7 pounds. It's like I said, it was probably inflammation and water, but like it was creeping, 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 creeping. And then all of a sudden, like she was a melting snowman after that, like a melting fucking snowman after like that first week or two, and just boom. Like it almost looked like her body was like saying, "All right, we'll see you later. We're going on vacation." Like it was just leaving her body, and she lost a ton of weight, and until she moved out of the area, but she had lost about 100 pounds up to the point where she left. We stayed in touch for a while after that, but yeah, I mean, she gained a little bit of weight, so I understand the hesitation, and thankfully she trusted me to do, to go through it. But I understand if you're overweight, that lack of like you don't want to feel like you're lifting to get big. You're already big. You don't want to be big, but that's not how the body works. Let's see. Got some good questions. Let's take one from YouTube. Hey man, is gluten intolerance real? Yes. I've noticed lately after eating certain foods, I'm getting massive brain fog for a few hours. Really bad. I'm not eating a ton of food either. I'm starting to experiment with cutting out specific foods to see if it improves. I've never really experienced this before, but it's becoming a problem. Yes, it's absolutely real. But it's more so, it's not necessarily gluten that's the issue. There's also wheat germ agglutinin, and there's other lectins and issues that are even more detrimental than gluten. Not everyone has a gluten sensitivity, that shows up. Not everyone has it to the point where it's celiacs, but you are definitely going to you're definitely having something. What I want you to do, a KTM 990, in the post description, you should see a link in my description of this live cast. You can see a link for my anti-diet workshop. I recommend it's free, registering for that and checking it out, because I go over all that. But yeah, it's absolutely real. And that's why I talk about the elimination diet and cutting out certain foods and stuff like that. And if you follow me on other channels like Facebook, you'll see a lot of this stuff often too. So yeah, good for you though. Good for you for figuring it out. You have to be in touch with your body. You have to be paying attention to notice it. And the reason why the elimination is important is because you don't necessarily, I mean, you said gluten, so I'm assuming you notice some kind of association with a specific food that you're eating, but it could also surprise you what other things might be working in congruence with that, or how many other things you might be allergic to you don't realize. Today, I didn't eat a blueberry granola bar I snack on. I didn't notice it today. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff in that granola bar that you probably should avoid as well. So there's sugar in there. There's also oats and barley and flax. Who knows what the fuck is in that? So yeah, it sounds like your nutrition needs other help too if you're eating a blueberry granola bar for a snack. And no harm, no foul. I mean, you're just learning. So check out my other content that I mentioned. I think you'll like it. I know you'll like it. It'll help you. Joanne, let's see. Okay, you talk to me. Other than yoga, what can I do instead of running, lift weights faster? No, I mean, yoga is I don't want to say yoga is cardio. I'm saying yoga is amazing for cardiovascular health. It's great for mental health. It's great for musculoskeletal health. You can do things like I said. I would say sprints or hill sprints, and you have to have good posture and good muscle integrity. You can't just go from, hey, I never worked out before, to running up a hill. But things like interval training is more effective in fat loss than just steady state cardio. It doesn't mean you can never go on a treadmill, but don't make that your primary. Look, for everyone that comes to me and says, let's say you love cardio, you love running, you love cycling. I love that you love something, because I love things too. And this world would be a very boring place if we all loved and enjoyed the same things, right? So, I mean, it would get pretty busy. If everyone in the world loved playing golf, the golf courses would be so packed, or there'd be so many more of them, we either wouldn't have any place to live, or we just wouldn't be able to play because everyone would be doing the same thing. It'd be very boring. So it's fine to love what you do, but if you want specific results, but then you're trying to do something that might not be the best thing for that, You have to decide what's most important to you and try to weigh the balance or weigh it out. And then if you can, accommodate both things, just be happy with what you get out of it and understand that you're doing something that could, depending on your goal, like I said, this is there's not one, it's very wrong to have one answer for that. Like, oh, this is bad. Cardio is bad. Cardio is not bad. It's not evil. I joke about, I make, I don't make, I mean, I shouldn't say I make fun of it. Running's not bad. We're human beings. We're designed to run, you know, sprint really. Not, I wouldn't say necessarily long distance running, sprinting. Sprinting is very functional. We're running away from animals. We're hunting things. But we don't jog all the time. We walk a lot. We're designed to walk. We're designed to move. That's how we're supposed to do it. However, there's a difference between evolution and survival and then wanting to get six-pack abs, right? It's like it couldn't be farther away from like the same thing. It's so far different. Like we're talking about aesthetics and shit that the human being, the human body and evolution never took into account. Well, what if they want to look a certain way? They want to look sexy. I mean, everyone's trying to get laid. And the reason why everyone wants to look sexy is they want to feel attractive. They want to get laid because we are designed at our core to reproduce. That's it, right? Live, fuck, and die. That's it. As long as we fucking have more babies, we can die because we produced more and the species will continue. That's literally like what we're here for. So if you boil it down, and I'm not joking, it's 100% serious. That's literally what human beings, like any other creature, is designed to do: survive long enough to make more human beings. That's it. That's it. We're not designed to have six-pack abs. Oh, look at your deltoids. Oh, your glutes look so good. Like, oh, my biceps peak is a little bit. I'm trying to build the lower part of my biceps. Like those things are fine, but those things are popular because we created this. Like, however, through all the changes in society, right? That's what's That's what's come out. Everyone likes to see abs. Okay, it makes you look more powerful. What does that mean? Females might find you more powerful and attractive. And oh, you're more alpha. You're going to be a better father to, you're going to be a better person to give me your seed so I can have stronger children. This is all like deep, like, DNA evolution stuff. You don't think about this like on the surface. You're like, I hope he has a good job and he has a good family and he loves his mother. Your body's like, he's got abs. Fuck him. He's got a beard. Sit on it. That's your body. You don't think about all those all those details. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's take some more questions. Facebook got a lot of stuff. I'm trying to catch up on some things. So I do jog. I do 30 minutes jog every week just because I love it. Okay. Well, that's information that we need, but I don't need to be wasting my workout time with tons of jogging that won't bring me to my goals. Well, that's very well stated, Joanne. That's very well stated. So I do 30 minutes of jogging every week because I love it. Nothing wrong with loving it. And, in terms of wasting your workout time, like that's, and like, it's all relative. It's all relative. If you're trying to build a lot of muscle and you're trying to bulk up a lot, like, yeah, I want to build a great physique, right? I want to look like one of those bikini competitor. You got to lift weights. You got to lift weights. And if you're like, destroying yourself with cardio, your body is really under a lot of stress. Like you don't need to be utilizing extra energy that could be used for rebuilding, repairing muscle tissue. It's all about your focus. And that's why when we do program design, that's what program design is. It's periodization. It's giving your body certain space, time constraints, and certain periods of time, periodization, big surprise, right? Certain periods of time where you focus on certain types of training, certain mechanics, certain exercises, certain, specific training modalities, nutrition, whatever, because your body takes a certain time to adapt. If you want to learn more about periodization just by like observing, look at like how football or sports work, right? So I want you to think about a sports team. What's out of season football, right? So right now you had like, I think the draft recently or whatever, I don't follow, but you have a lot of athletes that are like at home now and they're doing like their regular weight training. They have their personal trainers. Maybe they have like a certain program that their strength coach of their team has for them. We're talking about college, anywhere, right? And then you're going to have, summer camp, right? And then all the team, and we're talking about professionals, but all the other teams have their own routines, right? So the NFL, and then everyone kind of gets together for like, I guess, spring league or summer league, or when you kind of get together, everyone wears helmets, or, you kind of run plays, you throw the ball, you stretch, you kind of get to know each other, the new members of the team. You're doing general strength training, heavy max benches, this kind of stuff, heavy off season stuff. As you get more towards preseason, you start wearing shoulder pads and helmets, right? You start wearing like light gear. You start running more plays, more scrimmages. You start getting off the heavy weights. You start doing more drills, more sports specific stuff, more like cutting and more, power reactive stuff. And as you get more towards the season, you back off the heavy strength training because you don't want people burning out before the season starts. So you go through these series where you condition people properly off season, but then down ramp the intensity of the training because by the time you get in the middle of the season, if you're on like, week 7 or week 8 in the NFL, you're not worrying about your max bench. You're not destroying yourself during the week. You're recovering from the previous game, looking at game footage like you're in the shit, right? All that training you did before is now being applied, and you're focusing on recovering, being healthy, running your route better, or doing, covering and like the technicalities of the game. You did all that in the off season your entire life, like you're building. So any proper strength coach and proper programming gives you those periods that you can build upon. And I always talk about adaptation, and most of you are doing so many things that your body cannot adapt to. And it doesn't mean you can never run again. It doesn't mean, you can't do, cardiovascular training. It just means that if you're trying to build muscle, you got to you got to periodize your training. You got to go through a bulk. You got to go through a gaining phase where you're working on building mass. And then you can work on trimming down and then doing some more cardiovascular, enjoying some more of that. And that gives your body a chance to deload from the heavy training. And then you slowly ramp back up to that. And you kind of cycle through like waves, right? When I said that, I can't let this go. But that song, when I said, you never, I never gonna gain again. Na 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 na. Making swole. I'm never gonna gain again. Ah, what a good song. I'm never gonna gain again. I gotta put out my CD. Papa Swolio sings. It's about time. I told you that you'll have a Christmas CD this year. That's why they keep stressing us for us to run after CrossFit. It feels like a waste when your body is exhausted from an hour of weights. It's hard for me to. It's hard. It feels like a waste after. You could put the waste before the CrossFit part too. Like when you made the decision to go to the CrossFit gym, that could have been the point where you're like, wait a second, am I using my time properly? Uh oh. Uh oh. Take a left. Take a left. No, no, no. Away from the garage. Leave the garage. Stay away from the industrial garages. The box. I'm kidding. Yeah, well, that's why a lot of people get hurt with CrossFit. That's why a lot of people get hurt when they do. And that's another thing. A lot of people do this hardcore cardio after their weight training. Your body is fucking wrecked. And yeah, if you're going to do something like CrossFit and then running afterwards, yeah, I wonder why. Yeah. And a lot of people run in those lifting shoes. I've seen, oh my God, those platform shoes that are designed for Olympic lifting. Is anyone aware that people fucking run in those? It's like running in heels. I don't know who the fuck runs in those, but I see people running in those types of shoes. I don't like, do you feel like you're running like a horse? Like clop, 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 clop. Those things are like bricks. It's like clogs. What's up, fam? Was at the gym, so I missed the first 20 minutes. All good. That's a good reason. When you walk into a gym, most heavier people are on the treadmills and the in shape people are lifting weights. Oftentimes, and a lot of times, the heavier people that are overweight that need to lose weight, we can call them fat, right? Fat, overweight, just politically correctness, which we don't have in this show. And they're intimidated to go to the weights. And I understand that too. I understand they're intimidated, but that's why you need to have a good outlet and good programming. And that's why those of you that are members of Swolenormous X, you use my programming to take into the gym. So then you know what you're doing. And then you have people looking at you in the gym. And I've had a lot of people mention that, yeah, I was doing like, the exercises from the 90-day dash, and people are looking at me like weird. I'm like, yeah, they're looking at you because like, I wonder what the fuck they're doing. That looks awesome. And it is awesome. It's nice to know something that someone doesn't, right? So when you're in the gym crushing my programming in Swolenormous X, you know that you're a step ahead. You're a step ahead. I lost like 50 pounds and did a cheat day before. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Let's see. In order to start building more muscle mass, referring to nutrition, should I be increasing the amount of protein rich foods or should I be just increase all around? Human beings don't need as much protein as that's been touted. That kind of got overblown because of protein shakes in the industry. You don't need tons and tons and tons of protein. The vast majority of people overeat protein. Sarah, thanks for the love. Always get back from the gym around the perfect time to watch these live shows. Sweet. Brian Martin, I've been working out with bands and cut my calories to 1,200 a day. I drink water with lemon, but I'm still a 40-year-old fat fuck. Bro, you're a grown ass man and you're eating 1,200 calories a day. That's almost like a concentration camp diet. You need to eat food, my man. I get a ton of messages on Facebook, but you're free to send me a message on I would go to you can go to swolenormousx.com and use the live chat on my website. That's also a great way to contact me or send me an email. But 1,200 is extremely low and you need to start eating more food. Your body is probably holding on to a lot of weight just because you're starving it. Can you give a brief explanation on the benefits of sitting on a ball versus a desk chair? Not too much. I just have a ball here because I get up and down all the time and it's a little bit less restrictive than a chair. I'm actually not really happy with this ball and I like a standing desk, but the way I designed everything, like to lift everything up, whatever, I'm not worried about it. Maybe eventually I'll get one of those like up and down standing desks, but standing in one place, everyone touts, oh, standing desks are better, standing desks. I don't know, man. I was using a standing desk last year. I have like in the other room, I have a desk that's elevated. It gets just as tiring standing in one place. It's just as bad to stand in one place as it is to sit in one place. It's not good to stand around, do nothing either. Those of you that work at like your cashiers or you work retail, standing is no good for long periods of time either. So you got to move. I mean, I like the ball because it rolls around and I can use it for exercise too. And I kind of bounce a little bit. I would say it keeps like my vertebrae a little bit more fluffy. I roll side to side. A chair doesn't do that. So, I kind of don't get that compression the same way. I'll just make some circles or I lean back and I'll stretch a little bit or I lean forward. I come off and I wouldn't really say there's like so much benefit. I'm like, oh, I'm activating my core so much. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess I am, but my feet are on the ground. It's not like I have to stabilize that hard to not fall over. So anyone that's like, you're really activating so much more by sitting a ball, not really. Not really. You really adapt to that quickly. Most gym instructors, this is Kath on Instagram. Most gym instructors straight away just show you the treadmill and the same basic weights program for every single person, unless you state you're interested in weight. They only tend to show men weights. I, I guess maybe. I mean, I'm sure you're right in a lot of cases. I think probably less more now than in the past, but I'm sure, like in the last 20 years, you get a lot of people, oh, well, try these group classes, Well, a lot of women come in asking about the classes because they don't think they should be lifting weights because they don't want to get bulky. So we all perpetuate this myth over and over again. You got to tell the front people, no, you need to lift weights. Here, come speak with a trainer. It's coming more to the forefront as like, okay, common knowledge or people are aware of it. But then you have, okay, then, people, they need to lift weights. Fine. Where do I start? And that's, oh, okay. People need to feel confident. No one wants to go to the weight training section and not know what to do. No one likes to feel like they don't know what they're doing. It's embarrassing. Everyone's watching me. Everyone cares what I'm doing. No, but it's always good to know what you're doing so you don't get hurt. What would you recommend for something easy to snack on? I'm a grazer. I would eat food. I would eat some meals earlier before you go. Easy to snack on. I don't know. I don't do snacks. I do meals and or I don't eat. Small meals, something easy to snack on. You could do like walnuts, something like that. If you're not allergic, you still got to test those things. Healthy fats, hard boiled eggs, pastured eggs. I don't want you eating crap eggs from the supermarket. It's hard for me to talk about snacks. It's more important, honestly, if you're still here watching live, you got to go check out that workshop because if you figure out what foods you're sensitive to, then we can go back and talk about snacks because you might have an egg allergy and then you go have a hard boiled egg and you have an issue too. So it's really, you got to figure out from the ground up what's best for you to eat. Oh, there. Oh, Dom said it. Don't snack. Eat bigger meals. Yeah, I'm not a big snacking. I feel like if you're snacking, you're not eating enough food. It's hard to get the nutrients you need from snacks. It's hard to get the calories. It's hard to get the micronutrients from a snack. That's just kind of like busy work, like smoking a cigarette, right? Like the action going to the mouth. I'm bored or I'm thirsty. So let me have a snack. A lot of times you might be thirsty and not hungry and you need to drink water rather than eat some food. Let me scroll down a little bit. I'm going to miss a couple questions, but it's all right. Is running the best way to burn fat around the midsection? Absolutely not. I would rewatch this episode, Kevin. I go over running and all that stuff a lot. I'm not going to go into that any further, but no, absolutely not. Summer hits. He's so anti CrossFit. I'm not anti anything. I go by the reality that people get fucking hurt and they do that to lose weight. They do it to get a physique, and that's not what it's for. That's not what it's for. I think CrossFit is great for, let's say, emergency personnel. I think CrossFit is cool for police. I think it's good for firefighters. I think it's good for military because obviously those applications make sense. For the average person, I don't think it. I think the risk is no. I don't think it's. I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's applicable in most cases. Right? I mean, hey, my car wouldn't start yesterday, so I did 50 wall balls, and look at it, it started. I'm glad I know how to do wall balls for time. Otherwise, my car wouldn't have started. Like, what are you training for? That's what it comes down to. What are you training for? What makes CrossFit really successful is the community. You like to go see your friends. It's a fun atmosphere. Everyone's in a big box and everyone's in a big room and you could throw things around and there's chalk and you feel like, yeah, hardcore and everyone's cheering you on. Yeah, I get it. It's like it's a group exercise class. It's a group exercise class that's a little bit different than the classic group exercise classes. That's what it is. And some of them are better than others. Some of them are downright dangerous and people don't know what they're talking about, but welcome to fitness. Welcome to the open world. Welcome to the Wild West. And that's a huge veil that's over the industry that most people don't talk about is that it is Wild West. Everyone thinks that because you call yourself a trainer that you're qualified and forget certifications. Those things are a joke 9 times out of 10. I'm talking about really knowing what you're talking about. Do you actually care? Do you know how to keep someone safe? Do you know how to steer someone in the right direction? And it really, if the general public knew how much of a wild west it was, it's like bartending essentially. Being a personal trainer and being a fitness, someone who teaches things, it's like being a bartender and having a bartending certification, or you take a class, right? Take a class for a week and hey, I'm a bartender now. The same thing. You're pouring a drink. Are you pouring me arsenic? Are you pouring me something that's going to fucking make my face hit the floor in 10 minutes? But it's very open in terms of certifications, what a gym will hire, right? So a gym will say, oh, we require one of these certifications because that's what their insurance covers, or those are the ones that have, let's say, a national accreditation, NCCA or whatever. Okay, fine. I had certifications. I think I still have some. I think other ones went expired. Like I'm not doing your CEUs. I'm not paying you to read your fucking biased garbage and then paying you hundreds of dollars again to have a couple letters. No, it doesn't mean anything anymore. I took your test. I took your certification. I see the loopholes. I see the empty. Like, no, I don't need you to tell me that I know my shit. I don't need you to tell me that I still know the shit that I learned the first fucking time. And I certainly don't have to pay you to fucking have that knowledge after I already have it. The fuck out of here. It's just a business. It's a business. Those certifications are a business like any other. Hey, take this quiz, get the latest. Come to our conference and you spend $500 to go to a national conference and you sit there and you listen to fucking nutrition talks that are sponsored by the National Dairy Council and you're just getting biased fucking crap and you're wasting your time and your money and you're getting some CEUs. So now they allow you to keep your certification. Fuck you. Blow me. Blow me. A PT, a personal trainer showed my weights and I loved it and I used to the two I don't know. I'm not gonna read the rest of that. But cool. CrossFit I try once, but I'd really rather train alone. Yeah, I prefer to train alone. I prefer to go on my own pace. Look, it works for some people. I think it's exposed to way too many people who need proper training and proper corrective, and that's why a lot of people get hurt. But I do think it has applications. Like, why does it? Why wouldn't it? Right? If you're in the military and you say, okay, yeah, you're running miles and miles and miles in these fucking boots, and people that leave the military get jacked up knees and backs because they're, running with 100 fucking pounds and they're animals, right? They're beasts, but they're trained that way. Why? Because if you go to war, you're going to have 100 pounds and you better know how to fucking run in these boots because that's what you're going to be doing, jabroni. So that's why they train. And if you're a firefighter and you have to climb up a fucking ladder and put someone on your back and then climb back down, you better do sandbag training and do shit and have dummies and use real life people. And you better know how to do that really well. You better train yourself so you can do it in a pressure situation. That's also 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So that has the application. Why wouldn't it? It makes sense. It makes sense for that application. But for John the accountant, who's 100 pounds overweight, I don't think it's a great option. I don't think it's a great option. And that's just the common sense in me talking. Not saying it won't work. I'm also not saying that they won't get hurt, right? Very likely to get hurt or too much. And yeah, everyone wants to be a ninja warrior. That's a new thing, right? That's the latest. The Spartan stuff and the ninja, everyone's climbing shit. It's like, all right, it's fun. Look, adult jungle gyms are fun. You know why? Because jungle gyms are fun for kids too. We evolved from monkeys. Big surprise. We like to climb things. All right. So we need to put health and fitness back in the health and fitness industry. Well, it's two separate things. Health is different. Health is already fucked because health is a health care. Thanks for the follow, Pyro, on Twitch. Health is fucked. The fitness is, it's very shady. I talk about the health and fitness industry just because it's like common speech. We just say it like, yeah, health and fitness industry, the fitness industry. It's a Wild West open hot mess. It really is. Everyone and their sister is a personal trainer. Oh, my brother's a personal trainer. My friend's a personal trainer. I used to be a personal trainer. Anyone can say they're a personal trainer. Anyone. All you have to do to be a personal trainer is to say the words and you're a personal trainer. Do you have a certification? No. It doesn't matter. You can call yourself a personal trainer. Who's gonna tell you otherwise? I mean, if you know what you're talking about, then you could be a very good personal trainer and have never taken a certification course, but you put in the application and you know what you're doing in the gym and you can help someone through it. You might not know the names and all like the science, but you can definitely help someone. Does that make you a bad personal trainer? Does having all this education make you a good personal trainer? You get some you get some personal trainers that are on this the more the merrier kick, right? Like the more certifications. Let me get this rowing certification, right? Let me get this. That's what also sickens me a little bit. You get the CrossFit thing. You have like CrossFit rowing, CrossFit weight training, CrossFit football, CrossFit kick. It's like what? Because that's because each certification costs like a fucking $1,000. And if they can split it up into 30 certifications, they can get a lot more money out of you. So it just comes down to the business aspect of it. And more certifications doesn't mean you know more shit. It means you take tests well. It means you paid to go sit somewhere and hear someone else talk about whatever you were talking about. You followed some curriculum and then you took a test. If we have learned anything about the education system in this country is that it's absolutely fucked from the ground up. And certifications are a part of it. They're not separate from this whole disaster. And yeah, they're not as much as a 4-year degree, but do you actually know what you're applying? Did you do any hands-on training? Do you think a weekend workshop is good enough to be a qualified trainer that's going to handle weights over people's heads? Do you know how to properly spot someone? Do you really know how hard to push someone? You do understand you're telling someone to do something and you can't feel what they're feeling. I don't think anyone understands really or really talks about how dangerous and how much intuition and how much experience you need to really guide someone and push them hard without pushing them too hard, especially when they're new to the gym. And the problem starts at the very fucking beginning because you get the beginner trainers at gyms like LA Fitness, and you have the people that are overweight that don't know any better that go to LA Fitness to get a trainer. So you have these people going, "Hey, I'm overweight. I'm 100 pounds, 150, 200 pounds. I've never worked out before. What do I do? Oh, here, go. Would you like to sign up for our training? Cool." And then you have like so and so who got like a fly by night certification that decides, they used to work front desk and now they're a certified, now they're a trainer or a trainee trainer or whatever at LA Fitness or a gym, whatever big chain gym. I don't care what it is, you fit, who cares? And then all of a sudden you have it's like the blind leading the blind. And that kind of shit gives fitness professionals a bad reputation. I got really hurt. I got really this. I talk about CrossFit, all the issues with CrossFit. Does that mean that every single person that is CrossFit certified, that teaches, that owns a gym, does that mean all of them are terrible? None of them know what they're talking about? No, it doesn't mean that at all. But we have this like blanket explanation, or we have this like idea. Once we have an idea about something, everything is like that. That's what stereotypes, right? All the stereotypes you can think about race, all the stereotypes you can think about religion and politics and all that, they're true for a lot of reasons because that's why stereotypes happen. But there's always those that don't fit in that stereotype. We could talk about CrossFit and be like, well, that's because 80 or 70 or whatever percent of the shit out there is garbage, but maybe 20% is good. And maybe of that 20%, maybe 1% is phenomenal. And you have really expert level and really great on-ramp programs and people that really know what they're talking about. And trust me, from working at a very high level in the fitness industry and bringing on people and trainers, and it's very hard to find good talent. It's very hard to find people that I, would trust myself with, that I believe in, that I believe what they're saying. It's very hard to find authentic people that really speak about what they know and don't cross lines about shit they don't fucking know. And that's another problem. Everyone thinks they have to know everything. So they always have an answer and they just pick a side and they just fucking go with it, but they have no real reason or evidence or knowledge about it. That's why a lot of these little mini topics is like, shit, I mean, I don't know, try it, see if you like it. A lot of times that's the best way to do it. But you need to know why you're doing something that you're doing and if it's going to lead you to your goal. And sometimes you don't know until you try it. Sometimes. After the elimination diet, I didn't bother testing dairy or bread as I was perfectly happy without them and decided I didn't want to eat that stuff regardless. Yeah. I mean, chances are it was going to jack you up anyway, but yeah. Indeed. Is calisthenics good for building muscle? It can be to a point. What do you mean by calisthenics? You mean like jumping rope or doing pull-ups or something like body weight exercises? Pull-ups and push-ups are great. Nothing wrong with that. Depends on how much muscle you want to build and your nutrition. There's many other factors for building muscle. Jennifer Allen, I'm on day 2 of the elimination diet. I'm not really eating. I'm really not eating enough, having a hard time. I'm trying 3 meals instead of snacking all day, and apparently I'm not making big enough meals. I have no idea how much I should be consuming. I lift 6 days a week and now the 90-day dash with it. You mean you're doing 6 days a week plus that? Either back off on your training. The elimination diet is not a performance diet. That's why with my programming, that's why I'm very heavy. When you start the 90-day dash program, I'm talking about fitness first, not nutrition first. There's a very good reason for that because that is not a performance diet. That is a restricted testing phase where you're testing your nutrition. That's not like, hey, I'm eating these things to train harder. It's quite the opposite. The elimination usually needs a reduction in training intensity. Lack of sleep could do it too. Brain fog. Yeah, lack of sleep, sure. My sleep is fairly solid. I'm naturally adjusted to not needing a ton of sleep. That has, that's exactly the opposite of what Dom was talking about. If you're in the military and you never get naturally adjusted to lack of sleep. You never get, I mean, your body still needs the sleep. You might get used to running on fumes. I did that too. It depends on if you're getting enough sleep or if you're getting, how should I say, the right amount of sleep for you. Everyone needs a different amount of sleep. Some people need more than others. And those of you that are joining again on Instagram, we hit the hour cutoff, so it automatically stops after an hour, but you're back, so who cares? You're good. Amanda Horton, good questions today, fam. Good questions today. I'm not overweight, but I'm not where I want to be. I've worked 12-hour night shift for 10 years. Damn. I'm finding it harder as I get older to balance my odd shift and keeping fit. Sure. Of course you are. I like to work out at home. I have resistance bands, pull up our yoga mat. My question is, am I better off going to the gym when I join Swolenormous X? I'm not sure if eating right at night when working. I'm not eating junk food. It's just when to eat and what time. Okay, well, when it comes to night shifts, that's tough when if you're like nursing or anyone that works night shift because you're fundamentally working against the hormone, the circadian rhythm of the body. So your cortisol levels, your stress hormones are high and you're throwing off your whole body's rhythm. So you have hormones to play. And one of the reasons why I talk about hormones a lot is because those are literally chemical messengers that tell your body what actions to take. So for those people that have messaged me also, and I'll kind of go back to your question, Amanda, in a second. I've had people message me about medications like, hey, I'm taking all this medication and I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm struggling. Like, can you help me with this? It's like, well, you can only do so much. Like if I'm, showing you or explaining how to do certain weight training exercises, right? And okay, eliminate these foods, elimination, proper nutrition. But then you are taking medication that's literally changing the chemical messengers and your endocrine system and your hormones in your body. You can't always override that. You can't always get around that. You can't always overrule what at fundamental what you're changing inside your body. So the medication is a huge problem. Now, when it comes to a similar thing with like a night shift, there's going to be limitations. You might have, I mean, some people work night shifts and do that and feel or look great or look fit, but a lot of times they're taking anabolics and things that help shed extra body fat and stuff because they have to. Now, you can do, I mean, all my programming, the way I designed everything in my Swolenormous X platform is to be done in a gym or at home. And that doesn't make it less awesome. It doesn't make it more, it does make it more awesome because everything that I do is designed specifically to pretty much be able to be done anywhere. So if you have minimal equipment, you can get the benefits. If you have a gym, you could take it to the next level. You obviously have more weights, more options, more things you can do. And it's just a matter of whether or not you like to work out at home or in a gym. Some people just like to get out of the house. I like both. I like both. I don't have really the full ability to have an in-home gym right now, but I will. And I do like that because I like not having excuses. I like having where I can train close to home. It's never closed. You can train whenever you want, that kind of thing. So it really, like, your question's long, but that's something that when you sign up for Swolenormous X, we have our one-on-one coaching call that I give for all new members. So when you sign up, we can have this conversation, kind of break it down a little bit, like more individual. You could take that into a little bit more of a deeper path once you come to that point. So that might be better. That might be something that we just address specifically later. But yeah, night shifts are tough, and that chemical profile and that hormone profile does change, and it does make a big difference. You wake up naturally around 6 a.m. Well, that's also habit too. I don't want to say that you're naturally adjusted to not needing a ton of sleep. You're just naturally used to waking up at a certain time. But it could still mean that your body is still running on low sleep, though. I mean, if you're going to sleep at 6 or at 2 and you're waking up at 6, even if it's natural, you're waking up at 6 because you've been, you're almost afraid to oversleep because you have someone yelling in your face or someone pouring water all over you, right? And yelling at you and you're doing fucking laps. So getting 4 hours of sleep is too little. I mean, I know some people can get 5 or 6 and be fine, but once you start getting to, like, 4, that's like you're not recovering. Like, your body needs to go into those levels of sleep and recovery where you're actually repairing, that deep repair. I stopped trying to lose and started just being healthy, and it's helping that I am not stressing about the numbers. That will help. And what's interesting about progress is that a lot of times when you stop focusing on the weight loss and you stop chasing numbers, we had this conversation the other day about someone that was like asking about getting to like 10% body fat. When you start focusing on the right things, like the what's going to keep you consistent, right? What's going to build discipline, what's going to keep you on point. Then a lot of times the abs come and the strength comes and your progress comes because it's the process and the things that were set ahead of time, right? It's the methodology and the patterns and the habits that you've set in stone that will lead to that. Just chasing like a carrot, like just endlessly chasing, 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 chasing. It's exhausting. And that can throw you off a lot more than the hard work itself because you're just chasing this thing that's not, in vision, but you're looking at the wrong stuff, right? You're looking at the wrong stuff. You got to focus on what you're doing today and doing the right things and that will come. If it's meant to be, right? You got to keep on doing your best and trying different things and working hard. It's not easy. I think I use calisthenics for my next phase since I have lost so much during the elimination and I'm now looking to build but not build too much. I would It was pleasing to hear that doing calisthenics can be effective to build a certain level of size. Yeah, I wouldn't like, I mean, it depends on what you mean by size. I mean, I wouldn't just do push-ups and pull-ups. I mean, look, if you can definitely do negatives and you can definitely see a lot of progress. I guess I'll just leave that as it is. But I always think, doing resistance and doing weight training is essential. That's just foundational. Weights and weights and yoga. Weights, yoga, and meditation. You get the mind and the body, and you get the body. You get everything. And then everything else is like icing on the cake, right? It's like different flavors, different spices. You're welcome, Amanda. I mean, that's just a little bit more of an individual approach on that question. But yeah, the hormones can be fickle. Hormones can be fickle. But you can definitely do all my stuff at home or in the gym. Is taking creatine helping or hurting 38 years old? Not in bad shape. Just don't want to fuck myself up. I do drink tons of water with the creatine. If you're not in bad shape, but I mean, what are you trying to accomplish? You're probably not going to notice much of a difference either way with the creatine. It's not like a steroid or something. You're not going to like take creatine and get amazing results, or you might not notice much one way or the other. Not everyone reacts to creatine the same way. Not everyone responds to that kind of like saturation the same way. Not everyone needs supplementation, surprisingly enough, with that because you get it in foods. I heard Ronnie Coleman would get 4 hours of sleep. I believe it. You know why? Because some of those guys, especially when you're top of the game, because you have to be eating fucking 10 times a day. So you kind of run out of hours. But everyone's different. He was also a cop too. He was also a police officer. I mean, they work on all sorts of fucking whacked out schedules too and shifts and stuff like that. Once hormones are optimized with a low stress environment and a set circadian rhythm and a good diet, your body will tell you when to eat. There's a lot of things that are off with the human body when we talk about like our society, right? When we talk about how we live our lives with the blue light at night, right? The sun's setting. That's why it's kind of looking a little bit orange on the screen. So as the sun goes down, we still have, you know, three screens, phones, Wi-Fi. We have a lot of signals going through our brains. Like now should be the wind down time. And it's like, fuck, I got shit to do. At the same time, I would love to go to sleep at 9, 10 o'clock because then you get up early and you attack your day and then you have that normal rhythm. But it's hard. It's hard when, like, let's say you want to watch the NBA finals, right? And the NBA finals starts at fucking like 9 o'clock at night and runs till midnight. They just want to make sure that they can make the most from their advertising dollar because if they do it at 6 o'clock and people are working, they can't watch it. So then they won't see the ads. And then they won't make as much money because they can't charge as much. because you're not seeing as many and blah, blah, blah. It's all about money, but it sucks because then you're up till fucking 12 o'clock. And even if you have a good schedule, you can't enjoy a lot of things. A lot of stuff happens at 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. Everything's late, late, late. Everything gets pushed back later and later and later and later. It's fucking bad. It's bad, but it throws us off and we're staring at screens. Like you can do little hacks. You can get like the orange blue light blocking glasses. You can turn on your night vision, your was it your evening, setting on your phone and make it orange. It takes out the blue light. It's better for your eyes because less stimulating because there's blue light with the UV ray. So it's telling your body to stay awake. It's daylight. So when you're looking at screens late at night that are blue light and with the fluorescent lighting and shit like that, it fucks up your rhythm. It fucks up your hormones. I mean, your body works on a system. There's a reason why the birds are chirping at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You can feel it. You can feel it, the shift in the humidity, the light coming out, and fuck, I mean, there's so many different things. Wow, this guy's boring. Go fuck you and your mother's couch. Don't watch me. Go watch something else, bro. It's a talk show. It's quiet over there. You might want to check out the other platforms. Just thought I'd address you. Go watch something else. I'm boring because you're a little child and I'm talking over your head, and I understand that. Go watch some video games, son. Blue light blockers, I got them. Good. I go to bed at 10 o'clock every night and wake at 7. Well, yeah, sleep consistency. Sleep consistency is probably just as important as how many hours you're getting. It's the consistency. Are you going to sleep at the same time? Are you executing your opening schedule, right? Your morning time and your evening time. Are you consistent with those time frames? And it can be very hard to do that. And I know from personal experience because it's hard when I'm doing editing and I'm doing something late at night to get back on that morning schedule. I'm still trying to do it. I'm still off. It's tough when you're laying there in bed at 10 o'clock and you're just awake. It sucks. That's why it's good. That's why it's a good thing being Asian. These slant ass eyes don't get affected by blue light on Instagram. Well, cheers to that. So I'm jelly. I'm jelly of those Asian eyes. Oh, the only reason I read that out loud is because I didn't write it. But that's funny, man. I should be sleeping right now as I'm in the UK. Yeah, it's like what, like 3 in the morning? No, it's like 2 a.m., 1 or 2 a.m. Papa Swole never sleeps. I'm not bragging about that. I do sleep. I do sleep. I'm like a bat, right? No, that's one thing that I'm very transparent with in my content when I'm not getting a lot of sleep or I'm trying to do a lot of stuff, man. I'm trying to do a lot of stuff. So it's like, I'm never encouraging. Sleep's very important. Sleep is very important. So that's one thing we can all work on. So we talked a lot about the cardio aspect and the running, which was great. Great questions. I think today's episode was fantastic. Your fitness reality. I do want you to stay tuned because I did promise I would get that video up. So stay tuned in the next, what time is it? 8 o'clock. Stay tuned in the next, maybe I would say within the next hour. I will post that on YouTube. It's a great vlog. I did it by my car today when I was getting ready to head into the gym. And it was just some thoughts about like the ups and downs with training, right? With consistency and discipline and some of the things that really keep us from really getting results. And I would say the troughs, right? The troughs and the down slants of our days where we feel just shitty during a given day, not like overall like a period, but like a moment in a day where we're in a low mood. I mean, I think we all battle with that more often than not. And really all those little dips are reasons to quit and reasons to punch out and reasons to not feel good and not continue. But I just want to be transparent because I get them too. I get them too. I get frustrated. I get anxious. I get all the feelings that normal humans get that you get too. I have them as well. And things like this and content like this and the podcast and all the stuff that I do really helps me center myself, which is great. And, I just felt like that piece of content, I wanted to share it. And I'm going to put that up momentarily. And yeah, this is so I don't stain my teeth. This is coffee from earlier. So probably drinking coffee right now. Probably I'm going to shut that down. Probably not a good idea. And there's a stainless steel straw and this little topper because hot coffee through a straw. So recommended by like dentists and stuff. Because if you're drinking a lot of coffee, you're going to get like brown teeth. And I'll be scaring everyone in my videos like, what's your favorite all around beneficial meals? I love my grass-fed beef, my kale. I love like my big salads and stuff. I love sweet potatoes. I love bacon. That's different for everyone, Jake. I mean, really, what I say or what I eat is not necessarily what you should be eating. So that's why I'm always encouraging the elimination. That's why I'm always encouraging the individuality of nutrition because there isn't enough conclusive evidence one way or the other what foods are specifically best, but there's a lot of things that show us about allergies and inflammation and associations with not feeling good and our bodies fighting off invaders, which is eating the foods that are bad for us and they're causing inflammation in our small intestines and more. Carlos, what up, de oro of gold? What up, of gold? On a real note for sleep, what about ZMA? Do I take it? Do I know much about it? I don't know much about it. I took that like 10 years ago. I don't know. I don't think I ever noticed anything one way or the other. There was a period, like most people, like early in my fitness career, where it was like the more supplements you took, just like the better you would do. I'm trying to make gains, so I'll just take everything. Oh, ZMA here, cool. So 2 hours after I eat, but before bedtime, I'll take this after I train, and this before I train, this and this. Like, well, fuck this shit. You stop focusing on the training and the nutrition. You start focusing too much on what powder and what pill you're taking at what time of the day. I'm not sure what the latest on ZMA is, so it's been a while since I looked at that. I looked at any real supplement, but was it, it's supposed to what boost testosterone or help with sleep? Magnesium has been known to help with sleep, I believe. There's a couple products out there that people take at night that can help, relax before sleep. I think it's like because of electrolyte imbalance or something. Magnesium has also, I've heard people take it for like cramps and cramps at night. So I'm not sure if it's as much the zinc or just the magnesium, but or they're bound together. But I think magnesium could be beneficial for some people. But I would just Google that. I don't know what the latest research is on that, if there is. But I mean, we're talking about supplements that I don't know if is it worth the money you'd spend. And when we talk about helping you get to sleep, a lot of times it's maybe some more meditation and getting onto a better pattern. Because if you're all off on pattern, or you're fucking drinking coffee at night, or you're doing, working out late, you're taking pre-workouts and stuff, a lot of stimulants or blue light that can help you or affect you getting to sleep more than what you would benefit from buying or paying 30, 40, $50 for a zinc ZMA supplement. I don't think anyone needs stuff to help them sleep. We just need to sleep better and be consistent about it. And we just don't have that ability with technology and lights and stuff. Someone asked me at one point something about meditation, but I missed it. I think I missed what's your I think someone somewhere asked about meditation. What's my or what do I suggest or this? There's some great I would just start with some basic videos, tutorials. I would start with there's some great apps. There's a great app, Headspace is good for learning how to meditate, and it's excellent. And it's really about, I mean, what's great about meditation, and the more you get into it, is you learn, of course, you learn how your body thinks about things. You learn what thoughts really are in terms of like it's more about how you relate to your thoughts and how you relate to things around you rather than those things are happening. It's more about how you relate to them and how you process them and how you keep them in your head. And, when you change how you work, you become better for yourself and for other people and you handle your day better. So it will ramp you up into like this constant state of meditation where you're always assessing and being present and being conscious of what's going on around you, what thoughts you're having, letting them be as they are and not stressing. So it helps reduce anxiety and helps reduce stress and helps you kind of organize what feelings you have and why, and helps you categorize things and organize them in your day and in your mind. So it keeps you more conscious and present and focused on like things that really you need to do. What's up, Papa? What up, Bill? Can you recommend some exercises stretching for my jacked up knee? Yoga, bro. Yoga, rather than just explain about hip bridges or single leg balances, or I would start with some yoga, man. Yoga is great for the knee because a lot of times with the knee, uh, you're dealing with glutes that need to be activated. You're dealing with tight hips. You're dealing with potentially inflammation. I don't really know what's going on with your knee specifically. So, but yoga is a great place to start, like in beginner's yoga. What's your thought on food grade diatomaceous earth? I don't have any thought. I'm aware of it. I forget exactly what it's used for. So I don't have any thought on that. Help supports collagen production and hair and skin care. I've heard good things. I know there's a lot of makeup products and stuff with silica and stuff. I don't know, like, I don't know what the actual results are or like what the actual real effect is. I mean, I love bone. I love my grass fed bone broth because you get the collagen and the glycine and the proline, and it's good for the gut and helps reduce inflammation and helps for all that. So, I mean, I would recommend that over, I don't know, your earth diatomaceous. But I know people that have taken it. I've never done it personally, so I can't really give you my personal opinion on it. Good question though. I take olive leaf tablets. Is that for like your immune system? Magnesium, iron, probiotics, and these things are great for my training. I don't take them every single day. Look, everyone's going to, you're all going to find your path, right? You're all going to find your path and what's right for you. And it's really hard to ever tell or ever know really what a supplement is really doing to your body. You take something and, oh, I feel great. Is it a placebo? Is it really the supplement? Are you just knowing you're taking something so you feel great? Did you sleep better? Are you hydrating better? Are you also paying attention to your nutrition in addition to that supplement? Are you taking that supplement and being more consistent with your exercise and everything else so you feel great overall and you're attributing it to the supplement? There's a lot of other variables in there. Been thinking on yoga. I may have to take the hit from the fellas. The fellas, where people can make fun of you for taking yoga? Fuck those. They're not your friends. Anyone that makes fun of you for doing yoga doesn't know the first thing about their body. They're gonna be the ones that are in wheelchairs when it's all said and done. I've been taking my hair is extra thick, really? Well, maybe because of my bone broth. Maybe everyone always asks me, "What do I do for my beard?" I don't shave. I don't shave, but my nutrition probably really attributes to a lot of like quality hair. But I always had this. I always had that. So yeah, so stay tuned for that YouTube video. I'm going to go so I can make sure that gets finished. But make sure you stay tuned for that. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, go do so. It's going to be a fire vlog. And everyone else, remember, if you're a Swolenormous X member, uploaded a couple brand new recipes as well as a few videos in the instructional video section. So go check that in your updates tab on swolenormousx.com. If any of you are interested in my programs, nutrition, recipes, yoga classes, everything that I offer, streaming HD video on my private site, go check it out, swolenormousx.com. And I will see everyone tomorrow for 761. Remember, check out that video on YouTube. It will be posted shortly. I will see you tomorrow. Peace, McGeese, deuce, magoose, Papa Swolio. Out. Later, fam. Peace. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Later, guys. Goodbye. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, blah, blah, blah. Go make